Welcome to The Explainer. You know, for most of us, our home is hands down the biggest, most important thing we'll ever buy. But are we actually protecting it properly? Well, today we're going to crack open the world of home insurance and turn all that confusing jargon into something you can really feel confident about.
So let's just dive right in with the big one, the question you've got to ask yourself about the place you call home. Because here's the thing, just having any old insurance policy, that's not enough. Having the right one? Well, that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay, first things first. Home insurance isn't just one big blob of a thing. It's actually better to think of it like you've got two different shields. Each one protects your home in a totally different way, but both are absolutely crucial.
And figuring out the difference is actually pretty simple, kind of fun even. Just imagine grabbing your house, flipping it upside down, and giving it a good shake. See all that stuff that falls out? Your sofa, your TV, your clothes? That's your contents. And everything that stays put, the walls, the roof, the actual structure, that's the building. So yeah, one policy covers the box itself, and the other one covers all the stuff you put inside it.
Now here's a pro tip that a surprising number of people don't realize. You don't have to get both of those shields from the same place. You can totally get a combined policy for sure, but you can also buy them separately from different insurers. And that's huge because it gives you the freedom to shop around and hunt down the absolute best deal for each part.
All right, so we've got our two shields, but what are they actually protecting us from? Let's break down the big risks, the stuff that you'll find in pretty much any standard policy.
Think of this list as your fundamental safety net, right? It's here to catch you when something sudden and really significant happens. We're talking about things like a fire, a break-in, a nasty storm, the big-ticket disasters. This is what insurance is really all about.
And this is so important. A lot of policies will also cover putting you up somewhere else if you have to move out while they're doing repairs. And that just shows you, it's not just about a check to fix a wall. It's about practical, real-world help, making sure you literally have a roof over your head when things go sideways. It's about getting your life back on track with as little chaos as possible.
Okay, that standard cover is a fantastic starting point. But let's be real, life isn't standard, right? Everyone's situation is different. So let's look at how you can beef up your policy with some optional extras to make sure it really fits your life.
I like to think of these as customizing your suit of armor. Your basic policy might not cover you if you, say, accidentally put a foot through the attic floor. Oops. But accidental damage cover? It's got your back. Or maybe you've got a pricey laptop you take everywhere. Personal possessions cover protects it even when it's not at home. See? You just bolt on the pieces you actually need.
All right, let's talk about the dreaded fine print. I know. But honestly, it's not as scary as it sounds. We're just going to break down the two things you absolutely positively have to get your head around, the part you pay and the stuff that just isn't covered. First up is the excess. Now, this isn't some random fee. It's simply your share of the cost. Think of it as the amount you agree to pay towards any claim before the insurance company starts paying. It's your contribution to the fix.
So let's make that real. Let's say a burst pipe causes £1,000 worth of damage. If your excess is £100, you pay that first 100 and the insurer covers the other 900. Simple as that. And here's the trade-off, right? You can often volunteer to have a higher excess, which usually makes your monthly premium cheaper. But you just have to remember, if you do need to claim, you'll be on the hook for that bigger initial amount.
Now for the other side of the coin, exclusions. And this is so important to understand. Your home insurance is not a maintenance plan. It's there for sudden, unexpected disasters. It's not going to pay out for a leaky tap that's been dripping for 6 months or for general wear and tear. That stuff's on you.
Okay, let's get into what might be the single most important part of this whole thing. Seriously, this is about making sure that if the absolute worst happens, you actually have enough money from the policy to fix it.
We're talking about the sum insured. And all that means is the absolute maximum amount the insurance company will pay out. Getting this number right is everything, because if it's too low, you're underinsured, and that could leave you with a huge, potentially life-changing bill to pay yourself.
And this is where so many people make a really costly mistake. You need to insure your house for its rebuild cost, what it would cost in materials and labor to build it again from scratch. You do not insure it for its market value, what you could sell it for. These two numbers can be worlds apart, and confusing them is a recipe for disaster.
And this really sums it up. At the end of the day, it's on you. Your insurer might offer a default amount, but it's your job to double-check and make sure that number is actually enough to rebuild your home and replace everything inside it. The responsibility is yours.
Look, getting an insurance check after a disaster is obviously a huge help, but let's face it, no amount of money can replace your grandfather's old photos or take away the stress of the whole ordeal. That's why, honestly, the best insurance policy is just trying to prevent things from happening in the first place.
And we're not talking about anything crazy here. These are your simple, common-sense first lines of defense. Making sure you've got good locks and you actually use them. Wrapping your pipes in winter so they don't burst. Pushing that little button on your smoke alarm once a month. These little things can make a huge difference and might just save you from ever having to make a claim at all.
So as we wrap up, the one thing to really take away is that an insurance policy is a partnership. It's a two-way street. You have to be totally honest when you apply, and you have to take care of your property. If you do your part, the insurer is there to do theirs.
Which brings us back to this final thought. Your home might be insured, but is it truly secure? Because that's the bottom line, isn't it? Insurance is that critical safety net, for sure. But you are the first and most important line of defense for your own home.